Many years ago, in a village in the eastern part of Nigeria where people lived a simple life. They farmed, fetched water from the river, and gathered under mango trees to talk about village matters. There was a lady from the village called Juliet. She was very beautiful, tall, fair in complexion, and always neat. Many men desire her, but she chose a man named Kenneth. He is very handsome too, strong, and hardworking. They loved each other and got married. Everyone in the village was happy for them. After they got married, they waited for a child. 1 year passed. 2 years. 3 years. But no child came. Juliet cried many nights. Kenneth tried to comfort her. He would hold her and say, "Don't worry, my wife. God will bless us soon." But Kenneth's mother, Madam Queen, was not happy. She believed Juliet was the reason her son had no child. "Look at your mates, all of them have children," Madam Queen said. "You are wasting my son's time." Juliet tried to be strong, but the pressure was too much. People in the village started talking behind her back. Some said Juliet had used her womb for beauty. Others said she was cursed. One day, Juliet traveled to another village to stay with her cousin for some days. While there, she met a man called Mike. He was quiet and kind. He sold herbs. Juliet told him all her problems. Mike listened and gave her herbs. But something happened that she did not plan. One night, Juliet and Mike became too close. She slept with him. The next morning, she cried and returned to her husband and told no one what had happened. A few weeks later, Juliet found out she was pregnant. She was shocked. She wasn't sure if the baby belonged to Kenneth or Mike. But Kenneth was so happy. He danced and told everyone, "My wife is finally pregnant." Madam Queen also smiled, though she still did not trust Juliet. After 9 months, Juliet gave birth to a baby girl. She named her Precious. The baby was very dark, just like Mike. Madam Queen noticed and asked, "Why is this child not fair like my son?" Juliet lied and said the baby took after her grandfather. But inside her heart, she was scared. Later, Madam Queen started troubling Kenneth. "Let us do a blood test," she said. "This child is not yours." Kenneth refused. He loved the child and didn't want any trouble. But Juliet became afraid. She knew her secret might soon come out. One night, when the baby was just 3 months old, Juliet did something terrible. She carried her baby at night, tied her in a wrapper, and walked to the river. She cried as she stood by the river. "I love you, my daughter. I don't want to lose my marriage. Forgive me," she said. Shaking, she placed the baby in a calabash and pushed it into the river. The baby did not cry. The calabash floated and moved with the water. Juliet stood there and cried for a long time, then went home. She told Kenneth the baby died in her sleep. They did a small burial. Madam Queen just hissed and said, "It's better. That baby was not ours anyway." But the river did not swallow the baby. Far away in the village of Oji, an old couple were returning from their farm. As they walked beside the river, they saw a calabash near the edge. Inside was a baby girl, alive and smiling. "God! This is a miracle!" the couple shouted. They took the baby home and cleaned her. They thanked God and named her Gift. They raised her like their own child. Gift grew into a quiet and wise girl. She was different from other children. She could sense when rain was coming. She could touch a sick person and the person would get better. People in the village started calling her the River Girl. When she turned 16, she had a dream. In the dream, she saw a woman crying beside a river. A voice told her, "Find the woman who left you in the water." Gift woke up with tears in her eyes. She knew it was time to search for her real mother. The couple gave her their blessing. They packed food for her journey, tied a red thread around her wrist and said, "This will protect you." Gift traveled for days and finally reached the village. As she walked through the village, people noticed her. Her beauty, her smile, her calmness, she looked like someone they knew. Madam Queen saw her. She stared at Gift and said, "That face. I have seen it before." Later, Gift went to a mango tree to rest. A woman was sitting there. It was Juliet. Their eyes met. Gift walked to her and asked, "Why did you leave me in the river?" Juliet stood up and trembled. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am your daughter," Gift said. "You threw me away to save your marriage. But the river saved me." Juliet fell to the ground and cried. The whole village gathered to see what was happening. Juliet told the truth. She confessed how she had slept with another man and how fear made her throw the baby in the river. Kenneth, who now had a new wife and children, because Juliet could not conceive again, was shocked. He walked away without a word. Madam Queen died that night in her sleep. Gift did not shout or insult anyone. She said, "I forgive you. But the truth must be known." She returned to the village where she came from and continued living with the couple. As for Juliet, she died after a terrible sickness. Before she died, she told everyone, "A child is never a mistake. The truth may be painful, but it is better